Ah! Boom! Yes, good afternoon, good afternoon. Hinaan lang natin yung ating music. Yes, good afternoon, guys. What's up, what's up? Yes, good afternoon. Welcome for another stream with your man, Macb Crypto. I think, sandali lang. Check muna natin yung ating audio. Audio. All right. Okay, guys. For today's stream, we will not be having our VTS, the video tutorial stream, which we did every Tuesday, and on our Thursday, we'll be having our CTU. Last Thursday, we did have our VTS video tutorial stream on the Vault staking protocol. So, coincidentally, guys, I was just looking at chat. Yeah, I see that they were having this launch of the Vouch protocol. Speaking of Vouch, we'll be having our guest today, JEXXA, the Vouch founder, in which he will be expounding to us to the Pulsechain, Pinoy Pulsechain community. Let's represent that the Pinoy community is vibing, and we have also laws that is being pushed forward for the blockchain technology. I think we are on the right path in moving forward for the Pulsechain community to move forward into having this uh, prime mover advantage in the space. Again, guys, we welcome you. By the way, we have the QR code here for the Pulse Chain. Para hindi po kayo ma-scam, right? So I think the best way you can do is scan the QR code here of the vouch protocol that we will be having this topic for this afternoon. Again, without any further ado, let's have on JEXXA. JEXXA, yes, sir. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Hey, brother. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure, and yeah, such a pleasure to have you, and yeah, an honor to have you on stream. I having my hat here. It's a Pinoy hat. Again, how are you? Kumusta?
Yeah, going really well.
And mabuhay. All right. Kumusta is the saying. How are you and long live. Mabuhay. Long live.
What was it? Kamusta?
Kumusta? Yeah. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We truly are a global community, aren't we? It's awesome. I love it. I've met up with people all around the world being part of Pulsechain, and it always blows my mind how far we've reached across the globe and everyone coming together to build something beautiful. It's good to watch.
Yep, indeed, definitely. It's just having these goosebumps when you said that. Coincidentally, I just have this before moving into the topic for the main topic. By the way, you have the preliminaries. We'll be saying your background, who is JEXXA. Then later on, we'll be having the main topic, which is what is the Vouch protocol, its ecosystem, and lastly, we will have some fun and games. I have 5 questions, like the 5555 of Hex,
Okay.
right?
All right, let's go.
You're right. So
Yeah.
just a backstory. When I was having this VTS, I call it video tutorial stream, because people is asking how can we join, or what's the how can we start, right? So I'm just a one-man team. I'm just a one-man show. So I have all these things. So why not? I'll be having this video tutorial stream. So I'll be streaming, or I'll be sharing my screen and talking to people. Talking first about the fundamentals, right? Then later on the show, or later on the stream, I will be having this tutorial which how you can stake your VPLS. So that was the topic last week, right? For people, because I'll be the one. It's very hard for you to all to do these CapCuts and whatnot. And yeah, there's a one-man show going to work in 9 to 5 now working. So yeah, that's my background. I'm a medical scientist, by the way. So I'm the one examining urines and bloods, right? So yeah, that is my background, and yeah, I got into it around 2018. But anyway, the show is not about me, but I'm just having this this backstory in which I was just scrolling around chat, and they was mentioning that you'll be launching a Vouch protocol, and I said to myself, is this another FAD token? So I think there's no better man to answer if this is just a FAD token than the man himself, JEXXA. JEXXA, go ahead, sir. Who is JEXXA? And maybe you could, for our audience who are just watching and tuning in, maybe you could tell a little background of you, brother.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, a big shout out to you, mate. I've had a look over your channel. and you are pumping out the videos, my friend. So you're a hard worker. If you're doing the 9 to 5, and then you're coming after work and churning out all that content, good on you, mate. There's a lot of videos there, so I think you deserve a lot more support. My background. Now, I won't bore you to death with a whole life story. I'll give you the very condensed version. My background is in IT security. That's where I sort of crafted my trade. Spent a number of years doing investing in property development as well, so probably about 10 to 12 years in IT, 16 years in property development. And then the sort of the two worlds collided, where I got introduced to crypto as a sort of an investment speculative thing through some of the people in the property circle I was in. And for me, I fell deep down the rabbit hole of crypto because I was a bit of a nerd at heart, and I understood the tech. I understood what was going on. So for me, I was just all in from the very start. And that was probably about late 2016, early 2017 was when I sort of got involved and went head on into it. So I had lots of time at the time. So all that time went to learning everything about crypto. So fast forward to where we are today, or more recently anyway, got involved with Hex and Pulsechain. So Hex very early, before it actually launched, I was aware of what was going on. So been around since day one of all of that. So had I guess I was blessed to follow the whole journey of Hex from when it first started to what was the all-time highs of last cycle, which was September. Pretty exciting. Yep.
September 2021.
Yeah, and it was all fist bumps and high fives all around. And I think we've all been taught a little bit of a lesson since then. Not just Hex and everyone, but crypto-wide, we've been taught a bit of a lesson again. And yeah, look, I think we're in the right place. Like you said, we're in the right place at the right time now. It feels a little bit late in the cycle to some people, but I think we're still right where we need to be, if you ask me personally. So why Vouch, and why have I dedicated my time and energies to producing this protocol? I think you've got to build the world you want to live in. And for me, there's no point me sitting here bitching and moaning about the banks are locking us out, or like we're losing our free speech. Like, it's all good to sit there and talk about that stuff, but if you don't want to make a change and contribute to making the world better, then what's the point? There's no good talking to a brick wall. So that's sort of where I've come at this from, is we've been handed a blank blockchain in Pulsechain, and it's up to the community to step up and build a lot of the stuff on this chain. Now, there's the bare basics are there for us to work with, but we get to craft this and make it our own and get to be early pioneers in what is built on this chain. So I think I would have been disappointed if I didn't take the opportunity to be part of that and like I say, build out the world that I want to see. So that's sort of where I'm coming from, and that's my history in a nutshell.
All right. So, TLDR, it's kind of a freedom maxi, right?
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that, JEXXA. Yeah. Thank you for. I do believe, especially with the marketing coming in, I think we have to ask ourselves in the Pulsechain community, the Hex, Pulse, and PulseX, what are you guys doing for the community, right? So that is the question. You don't sit around, as JEXXA was mentioning, you have to do something for the community. By the way, I am not a streamer. I'm a medical technologist, so I don't know how to stream. So I have to produce a lot of things. I have this boom arm, I have all these gadgets. And then the problem with me was early on is the internet connection. You know, now we don't have that reliable internet connection. So I have to buy a Starlink. So I have to do all this stuff. So you have to ask yourself, guys, what are you doing for the community, especially with Richard Hart pushing for a marketing push, having these tablets? Do you think is it a tablet, or is it just? Have you seen the? I have.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like, I think it's actually. There's been mixed feelings, like there always is. We're in a big community, and some people are positive, some people are negative. I think some people are throwing shade just for engagement and things like that, which is fine. That happens. I think from a marketing point of view, like a pure marketing point of view and reach and what it's hoping to achieve, I reckon he's hit the nail on the head. Like, I reckon it's an actual cracker of an idea. If that little device ended up in my house, even as an adult, I would pick it up, have a good play with it. I definitely wouldn't throw it out. It would sit around somewhere. I'd use it for a shopping list. I'd put my to-dos on it. When we're playing the card games, you could keep score of who's winning. Like, there's so many things you could do with it that it's not going to get chucked out. So I think it's hit the nail on the head in terms of A, getting something out to a lot of people, but B, something that's just not going to get thrown in the bin. So it's not a one and done. People are going to keep looking at it. So I reckon it was awesome. Yeah.
All right, so I think this is JEXXA is talking about. This is kind of for, I don't know, for engagement or whatnot, but kind of, I don't know if it's really the item, but yeah, I think it's just for outreach and whatnot. But anyway, guys, yeah, we have this marketing push with the founder. We tried hard to give it to charity, and JEXXA was saying how we can reach people by having this gadget, which they will not be throwing out. I'll be talking in Tagalog. Ibig po sabihin ni JEXXA is you have these mga gadgets in which it will not be thrown out. Hindi po siya itatapon. And I think it's worth noting to have this kind of marketing push. Yeah, I think that's for the marketing with let me check. How can I share another screen? All right, stop sharing the screen. All right. So thank you for that one, JEXXA. So yeah, let's move into the main topic, which is really what is the VOUCH protocol. I have my slides with me, your flywheel, and yeah, maybe we could start with the protocol itself, the introduction of the protocol. So what is VOUCH? Is it like another fund token in the Pulsechain ecosystem, or is it just something that people will looking forward into? What's unique, by the way, with the VOUCH token is they have this derivative token first, which is the VPLS, right? And later on, they launch their own token, which is kind of complete the ecosystem for VOUCH, VOUCH, VPLS, and PLS. So I think JEXXA can expand to us. And yeah, I have my slides with me here in the.
How about I do you one better, and I'll share my screen, because I've taken those slides that you've probably got, and I've improved them today just for you. I wanted to come on here and have a really good explanation for you.
Sure,
I'll share a screen.
All right, this is for the Pinoy Pulsechain community, man. Give some cheers, brother. Pick a like, share, and subscribe, brother. All right.
Okay, so just have a look, see if you can get that screen up for me.
Yeah, let me check on my end. I don't know if I can see it here. I think I have sent you a link in which you can share your screen, right? Where is it?
I've got,
I don't know. I'm using Restream. I don't know if unable to share the screen. Oh man, that sucks.
I can see it. I can see that I've shared it. Are you?
Let me check share my screen. JEXXA. Where is it? JEXXA. It says here, unable to share screen sharing is not allowed. Oh man, what the? This is the first time that someone be sharing the other screen or from the guest screen. I don't know.
I'm just trying to think if there's another way we can do this.
All right. Wait. Here. Sorry. Here you go, guys.
Hey, you got it.
There you go. All right. Let's get it on. Oh,
you keep telling me you're not a streamer, but you're all over it.
Oh man, you have to learn these things in front of, brother. I'm doing this for the community. I know, man. Anyway, go ahead, brother.
All right, so I'll give you the rundown on VOUCH, and I'll break it down, and we'll do it at a really high level. I'm happy to go as detailed as you want after this, but let's just try and keep it really simple to begin with, and I think that'll help clarify things for people.
Sure, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so back in October last year, we launched VOUCH's liquid staking protocol, and that, what you can see on the screen here is that basically, I'll see if I can get a little pointer up. Get a laser pointer. Here we go. So what that enabled people to do, so if you're sitting out here with your Web3 wallet, whatever it is, Rabby or OKX wallet or internet money, whatever you've got, and you're holding Pulse in that wallet, you could send that Pulse into our liquid staking contract, And in return, you would get given something called VPulse, which is this token here. So that's the liquid staking component. You send a token in, but you get another token straight back out. So it's not like you've sent something in and you've locked it up and you've lost access to that economic energy. When you get the liquid staking token, you've still got that in your possession, and you can go provide liquidity with it. You can trade it if you want, but it just means you've got a liquid representation of your stake of your Pulse. And what happens is when you deposit your Pulse into the liquid staking protocol, the validators that are part of the Vouch network, so that's anyone can be a validator on the Vouch network, they can pick up any Pulse that's deposited in here. So you might put in, 10,000 Pulse, and everyone else might put in 10,000 Pulse. And when we get to the required amount to launch a validator, which is 32 million, we can launch a validator on the Pulsechain network. So those validators are doing real world work. They're securing the Pulsechain network. And when they're, as part of their duty of securing the network, they get a share of freshly minted Pulse from the blockchain. So Pulsechain mints a certain amount of Pulse each day that is distributed to all of the validators that are part of securing the network. So effectively, that's what we see here is we've taken the Pulse that was deposited, we've locked it up onto the Pulsechain network, and we're doing the real work. And in return, we're getting little drips of Pulse come back literally every 5 minutes. We get Pulse come back into our system. So over the period of a year or a day or a week, it's just continuously churning in a feed of freshly minted Pulse. So it's real world work, but it's also real world yield. So it's not sort of fabricated yield where you're depositing one thing to get another bit of yield, or this is freshly minted Pulse. It's like the equivalent of a Bitcoin miner getting a fresh block reward for minting a block in Bitcoin. That's the equivalent. So that was what we launched in October last year. So that's been running for just under a year, but yeah, going
10
really
months
well.
or 11 months. All right.
Yep. So what happened more recently, and this is quite exciting, is let's see if I can just, okay, sorry. On that side, if you deposit your Pulse at the moment, you're probably getting a staking yield of about between 10 to 12% APR.
All right.
Yep. So if for your deposit, you put your Pulse in there, get this token, and this token accrues roughly about that amount of yield per annum. So what we launched as of pretty much this time last week, so it's only about 7 days old, we launched the Vouch token. And the Vouch token has a slightly different role in the system, and that role is around value capture and governance. So you could think of this side as, if you're a VPulse holder, you're capturing your share of the Pulsechain yield, effectively. So you're contributing to the security of the network, and you're getting your share of the Pulsechain yield. The Vouch token is more about getting an ownership in the platform that is producing that yield. So that's sort of where Vouch token fits into it. It will allow in the future. So I've got a little asterisk above governance. So the governance platform is not fully launched on Vouch yet. That will come in phase 3. So in the future, if you hold Vouch token, you'll be able to have a say in some of the settings of the ecosystem. And we'll cover those settings in a moment.
Yeah, I'll be asking you with the settings because I think there are security features in there in which I'll be asking later on for the community, especially those guys who truly believe in a truly decentralized way. I do believe there's kind of more you can tweak with the should I say the percentage. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was a big moment to have the Vouch token out there, and we've done a really nice controlled release. I'm really happy with the way that went. We didn't have a crazy chart and bots coming in and getting the supply before anyone.
Sniping.
We're very, very deliberate in the way we've done that. But as part of the Vouch token launch, we also launched something called the Vouch distribution layer. Now, people probably don't understand too much about this component because it's to be honest, it's not really visible to the end user. But effectively what it is a bunch of contracts that just control the way funds are moved throughout the ecosystem.
All right.
And I'll cover, we'll touch on that in a little bit more. But that's, as a side note, the recent launch really had two components to it: Vouch token and the distributor side of things. And effectively what that allows us to do is, from both sides of the equation, so I said that we've got external revenue from validating. So we earn this pulse here, which gets put into this side of the system, and that revenue then is fed into the distribution layer.
All right.
On our vouch token, we have fees. So I'm calling this a revenue token because what it actually does is it generates another stream of revenue outside of the system. And we can talk about how that does that, but effectively any revenue that is generated from the token also goes into this distribution layer. And from there, what we can do with all the funds that are sitting, so all this revenue that's sitting in the distribution pool, we can do some smart things with it. So we can take a portion of that pulse and we can direct it back over to our liquid staking protocol. And the way we do that is we get that pulse and we put it to use by something we're calling community validators. Any excess pulse we want to put in here, we fire up validators, and these validators are essentially owned by the vouch holders. They're capturing the value of the system. So these validators, as they build up over time, they're just going to sit there and keep doing the work and keep producing this pulse. So we end up with a feedback loop where these guys go out and they do more work, they generate more pulse into here, it gets fed back into here, and we get a bit of a cycle going where we can keep increasing the number of community validators.
All right.
So you can imagine that these things are out there doing real world work. The system has already paid for them, so they can just, no one is expecting the pulse to come out of these validators. They'll just sit there and do work indefinitely. So that's the value capture side of things. We'll just keep building on that. Yep. And I think a lot of people haven't sort of understood this yet, what we've actually...
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. JEXXA, can I interject on this part? Can I ask a question? Or is this... all right. Is when you say this validator, do you mean is this a physical mining rig or just a smart contract on a blockchain?
No, to do validating on Pulsechain, there is machines that need to be set up to do that. So they're...
All right.
Yeah, so there is... and I'm happy to go into more detail on how that works, but essentially you're running a real world machine with real world software that has to monitor the blocks and do the work. And there is no other way around that. It's not something that can be automated via smart contracts. It is literally the same as Bitcoin mining or having nodes on a Ethereum or any other blockchain for that matter. You've got assets in the real world, so computers or virtual private servers that need to be fired up, have software installed, and need to be managed. There's no way around that when you're dealing with servers and validators. So yeah, that's why they earn a real world yield, because there's real world work going on.
All right.
So that's So that's one component. That's one nice little loop that we can get going in the system. A couple of other things we can do with the revenue. We can buy and burn vouch or VPLS off the market. And we're doing a lot of that at the moment. If we have a look at the dashboard in a moment, I'll show you how much buy and burn we've got going on in the system at the moment.
Yeah.
So, so at the moment, we're burning a lot of vouch. We've burnt over 10% of the supply already, and we're a week old. So that
I think it's 1.21%.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive burn. Yep.
Is it done? Is it done manually, or is it a buy and burn with a smart contract?
Yeah, so that's what this distribution layer does. It handles all of that smarts. So it has the ability to automatically do the buy and burns, to add extra liquidity to the liquidity pools, and to do the next bit, which we'll speak about in the moment, and also to to handle the distribution of all this pulse back into this system as well. So that's where a lot of the smarts came into Vouch token and what took a lot of the time in terms of planning, audits, testing. Literally 8 months of work has gone into the testing side of things. So there's been quite a lot of work in the background for that. And I guess the final part of this picture is what else we can do with the token. So it doesn't matter whether it's Vouch, vPulse or Pulse, but we can do what we call distributions. So we can send that out to holders, stakers, validators, relays, which are a special thing in the network. So we can distribute rewards out to any of these participants of the network. And at the moment, we're distributing Vouch tokens out to the holders. So if you hold Vouch in your wallet currently, you're probably seeing a feed of Vouch hit your wallet. So every now and then you'll see a drip of a little bit of extra Vouch hit your wallet. Now that probably won't stay like that forever, but as the system grows and we need to change where we're redirecting fees, so we might go, you know what guys, we want to fire up a lot more community validators. Okay, well let's direct more funds towards that side of things. Or we want to ramp up the buy and burn. Okay, well let's ramp up the buy and burn. So we've got the ability to change where those distributions are going, and that's where Vouch holders will have a big say in. That is when the governance protocol is up and running. As a community, they can vote and say, well, we want to increase the buy and burn or whatever they want to do. Yep. So that's how the system all sort of fits in together. So that's Vouch in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a lot more technical detail sitting under the hood than that, but I hope that sort of explains at a high level how the system functions and how it's all been brought together.
All right. So I think this is what you call, guys, the flywheel, right? In which you could have
Exactly.
a system in which you have a buy and burn. You have a. But anyway, I just want to ask for the community who are watching how they can use the VPLS, because we're talking about Vouch PLS, the VPLS, right? Oh no, not the Vouch PLS, but the VPLS. Am I correct on that one? Vouch PLS or VPLS? Separate from the Vouch token.
Yeah, so we've got the Vouch token, which is the native token of the protocol, so the governance token, and then we've got VPLS, which is essentially Vouch Staked Pulse is the correct name for that token, but VPLS is the Vouch Pulse, and all that is that's a representation of your staked pulse. So we mentioned with Vouch, when you get you're currently getting a distribution of a little bit of extra Vouch, so that's how that sort of pays an extra dividend. But on the vPulse side, you don't actually get any extra tokens. What you get is an increase in the value of the token. So this APR doesn't appear in your wallet as more tokens, it just appears as a more valuable token. So it's capturing that APR. So that's really important, because then what that allows you to do, and this is what I think you were sort of getting at, is you can take this token and then you can go do some other thing with it. You could put it in a liquidity pool, and what we see a lot of people do is they match vPulse up with Pulse in a liquidity pool. And why that is really, really good is not only do you still capture this APR, but then these two things are sitting in a liquidity pool together, and as people trade in and out of that pool, you collect the fees from that trading. So you end up with more of both of these tokens. But the really unique thing is if you pair these together, because they are sort of locked together, and Vouch will continually go up in price against Pulse, but not at a high rate. So what that means is when you put them in a liquidity pool, you don't get offside with impermanent loss. They sort of stay close together. That's really important. It's like you get the benefit of putting like stable, if you put USDC and USDT together in a stable pool, you wouldn't get impermanent loss because they're supposed to be both $1.
All right.
But the downside of doing that is USDC is not going to go up in value, is it? So you're holding an asset in a bull market that's not going to go up in value. Whereas if you've got Pulse and vPulse, you're holding an asset that may go up rapidly in price in a bull market, but they'll go up together. So you'll get the price appreciation, but you won't get the impermanent loss. That's the important thing.
All right. So thank you for clarifying that. So VPulse is vouch PLS, and what it does is you could stick it right in the vouch protocol itself. You have the JEXXA. You have. Can we show the screen here? You have the stake, the withdraw, and the dashboard. And maybe later on we can go through the dashboard, and maybe JEXXA could explain it later. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what you're saying here is you could stake your pulse to get a B pulse, and you could do all these things. Maybe can you sell it right on the?
Yeah, you can sell it if you want. Yeah,
you can sell it. All right.
Yep.
How about how about if you will try to redeem your VPLS? Is it redeemable 1-to-1 or 1 to something ratio? Maybe you could expand on that for our viewers.
So it's when the system first started, if you put in one pulse, you would get one V pulse. So they were at 1-to-1. But now, if you put in one pulse now, you'll probably get, 0.92 V pulse. So you get less V pulse for your pulse now. So I know this is a little bit tricky to understand, but over time, if that ratio keeps changing, effectively what that means is, let's say you put in one pulse and you got one V pulse back initially. And you come back 6 months later. When you redeem your one V pulse, you might get 1.2 pulse back. Does that make sense? So you actually get more pulse back when you redeem it than when you first put it in. So that's how it's capturing the value of that yield. V pulse is always going to be worth more than pulse. And it'll go up every day. Yep. In fact, 4 times a day, it goes up in value against pulse, because that's how often the ratio gets reevaluated.
All right. The ratio actually is 1.0874. I am looking at the dashboard here in the vouch protocol.
Yep.
One V pulse is equal to 1.0874 PLS. So I think it's very important for people to understand, especially if they don't have that mining rig. And I think for the community here in the Philippines, because whether we like it or not, JEXXA, we have the worst power here in the Philippines. You have this power interruption now and then. So, no, man, I hope we will not be having this power interruption. I don't want to put out my genset generator. But anyway, so I think one thing to consider for people here in the Philippines to be part of the mining economy, should I say, in also helping securing the network, in which VPLS kind of meet with the miners, right? You put your VPLS, your PLS, you'll be getting VPLS. The PLS will be put into work, having that liquidity staking. Maybe you could expound first on what is liquidity staking, because we are directly jumping into the flywheel, right? So what is liquidity mining? And what is it really do for the... Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what I can do is I've got a couple of other slides, and I can break down the staking side of things if you like a little bit more. I'll just give me a second. I'll skip through a couple of slides here, and we'll...
Sure. While you're at it, yeah. All right.
Yep. Here we go. So forget about Vouch for a moment. This is what happens on Pulsechain if you're a validator.
Okay.
If you're this guy sitting out here and you know how to run the software and run the hardware to run a validator, and you have 32 million Pulse sitting around, what you can do is you can fire up all the software, stake your 32 million Pulse on Pulsechain. So that's the proof of stake component. And then over time, you'll get given Pulse rewards, and that'll go back to the validator. So that's essentially how Pulsechain validating works now. And you've got a guy sitting out here who's just a normal user. Whenever he sends a transaction in, he pays a fee to process that transaction, so the gas fee. And these validators also can win a share of those fees that users pay. So they always get the rewards from the blockchain, but they can also get fees from users when they propose a block. So that's essentially how Pulsechain staking works. Now, if you don't have the expertise to run up a server, or you don't have the 32 million Pulse, or you live in an area that's got bad internet or bad power, that's probably not the kind of thing you want to be doing. So, well, how can you be part of the staking rewards if you don't have those skills, you don't have that amount of pulse, or you don't even have the time to do it? And that's where liquid staking comes in. So let's have a look how that works. So you've got your user out here who's got some pulse, and it's just sitting in their wallet. They send that into the liquid staking protocol, and when we get enough of that build up, a validator will come along and he'll still need 12 million pulse. So he'll deposit his 12 million pulse, then he'll take the rest of the 32 million, so an extra 20 million pulse from the pool that all of these guys have put in, and they'll stake it. All that pulse that's earned goes back into the liquid staking protocol, and then it gets carved up, it gets shared between this guy and the validators. Now, these guys actually get pulse come straight back out because they've got a stake of pulse, so they get paid in pulse. But these guys don't get the pulse paid out. They get the value accruing in their VPulse token. You follow me so far?
Yep, indeed. I think it definitely is. This is something
I'll show you.
for the... Sure.
You go.
Yeah, man. I think there's no better man who can explain it, but from you, JEXXA. All right. Go ahead, man. I know you're the technical guy here, man. So, all right, go ahead.
what I'll do is I'll show you, because this is where people, they can't quite understand how this VPulse becomes more valuable. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, so initially, this guy over here, he's put in 1 pulse. And when the system first started up, he got 1 VPulse out. So that's this ratio here. So you put 1 pulse in, and you got 1 VPulse out. Now, over time, and this might take 6 months or a year, the ratio changes every day, but it only changes by a small amount each day as more pulse is getting deposited into this system. So each time more pulse gets tipped into here and more pulses accruing in here, the ratio between these two is changing, because we've got more pulse sitting in here than there is VPulse minted. So what that means is, over time, this guy started off with 1-to-1, but now if he brings his VPulse back and redeems it, he would get 1.1 pulse. Wait another few months, he might get 1.2 pulse, and so on. So all the value of this pulse that's building up in here is getting built into the value of this token. When you redeem it, you get your share of this pulse that's sitting there waiting for you. Now, what's really important about that is, so what used to happen in a lot of staking protocols or farming type protocols is you would earn some yield, you would have to claim the yield and then recompound it, and you could keep claiming and recompounding. This does auto compounding for you because the pulse stays in the pool and gets put to work by validators. So as more pulse is sitting in the system, the validators can put it to work, and you don't have to do anything. That compounding value is getting added to your VPulse. So that's probably the beautiful thing about it. So that's pretty much the liquid staking side of things in a nutshell. Now, there's obviously a lot more going on under the hood from a technical perspective, but I think that should give most people a pretty good understanding of how the liquid staking side works.
All right. Yes, go ahead. If you have something to add.
I was going to say, so if you want, we can go back now and we can have a look at the dashboard and have a look at the way a few of the flows work in the system, if you like.
Sure. We could have the dashboard. Do you have it here? Do you have it there?
Yeah. I'll give me 1 second. I'll just let's see if I can end this.
And maybe I could ask the question later on with regards with the how in the later part of the phase 3, in which we'll have truly a decentralized protocol, in which we don't have that theatrics DAO, right? We really truly have a true DAO in which will be used for the community to decide in which how much will be burned, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the vouch.run main page. So from here, you can pretty much link out to any part of the ecosystem. You can go to the user app where you stake your pulse. You can go to a DEX where you buy a vouch. If you want to be a validator, you can run the application from here. If you want to see the dashboard, and that's what we'll have a look at in a moment, you can see the dashboard. Pretty much all the documentation on the system and everything you might need is all contained from within this page. So let's jump out to our dashboard. And we'll just give it a second. We'll give this a second to load. It's pulling all the data live as we speak. And we'll sort of work our way down, and you'll get a picture for how this ties back to that original image I showed you with the two revenue streams. So I said we had two revenue streams. One was from the vouch token. So that's pretty much this side here.
Correct.
So as people buy the token or sell the token, or importantly, transfer the token, there's a fee. And that fee is what we're collecting here. So this is the generated pulse revenue from buys, sells, and movements of the vouch token.
All right.
So that's the revenue that this site has generated in the last 7 days. On this side of the equation, we've got 3,000 odd validators that are out doing real world work, so processing the transactions on the blockchain, and they've produced that amount of income from doing real world work on the blockchain over the last that's probably less than 7 days, because they got switched on a little bit later once the system was up and running. But yeah, so that's how much revenue they've generated. Now, they're those two revenue streams that I sort of shown coming into the top of that picture. Let's have a look what happens with them. So that both of those revenue streams are combined in that distributor, which is down here, and then the distributor decides, okay, well, where am I going to send all of that pulse? So it'll send it out to different, what I call buckets. So I'll put some in this bucket over here for validators, some in this bucket over here for liquidity, and that's what the users will be able to have a lot more say in, is, okay, well, where are we redirecting all those pulse revenues to? Which buckets are we putting them in? And at the moment, we've reduced the liquidity pools because we thought, okay, let's give everyone a nice juicy buy and burn on the token when we get off to a good start. We can always crank up the liquidity side of things later on. We've got 40% of the revenues is going back to the master validator account, and that is where community validators are created from. So over here, you'll see our community validators went from 102 to 137 over the last couple of days.
Correct.
So we've already built up a lot of community validators.
So these community validators are like physical validators, right? Just for all right. Go ahead.
So the term validator doesn't mean that there's 137 different machines all doing it. You can run thousands of validators on one machine.
And one machine. All right. This is not including in the statistics here with David Feeders. Right? No. So this is really from only from the vouch PLS, right?
This is just vouch. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a good thing. As a vouch holder and as a VPLS holder, you want to see the amount of validators grow, and particularly the amount of community validators grow, because they are money printers. They're owned by the protocol. Printers. They're just gonna keep printing in more and more money. Yep.
I like the term money printers, like Fast Abdul's money printers.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have money
printers. All right.
So that's why we've got that set to 40%, because it's great to do buy and burns and things like that, but they're a one-shot return where you do the buy and burn, and it's great. It builds value into the token because you're stripping supply out. So you're adding demand because you're buying, and you're getting rid of supply. So that's good. But if we make more money printers, we can do that for longer, forever.
All right.
Yep. So you get more bang for your buck.
All right. Maybe you could expound why you have this lots of tokenomics, especially buy and burn. I think this is one of the token with a solid tokenomics. You have a 555. I think there's a meaning to that one. It just say 4-5, right? I think we have this one 555. You have to transfer. Why is it all these things are put into play? Especially why does buy and burn is necessary for the community to understand. And we have this. Maybe you could expound more on the solid on the tokenomics of this one.
Yeah, yeah. So it goes quite deep, but let's just
Sure.
let's try and keep it high level. What we used to see in crypto a lot was someone would launch a token,
All right.
and in order to make it profitable or make it attractive, is probably a better word, they would offer some sort of yield. And they weren't doing any work to get this yield. They would just create another token out of thin air and drip you that token. But then, okay, that's great. You're getting this token. How is that holding up value? Well, then they start doing what we call the Rube Goldberg machine, where they start trying to do all this fancy stuff that looks really complicated to generate more yield. And you end up with a series of tokens all looping into one another. But eventually there's what I call a sink. Like the value's got to go somewhere.
All right.
You can't infinitely create money. Like if you're not creating value, you can't infinitely create money. Like it just doesn't work. So that's where Vouch is a little bit different. We've got revenue streams that are coming in, fresh revenue. So we don't need to create a token that is mintable out of nowhere to give people yield. We've got yield, and we inject that into the system, and we can do smart things with it. So we can put that yield to work, creating more yield. So that's really important for people to understand. And then we set up something. Okay, well, what do we need to do to keep everyone aligned? You've got validators, you've got people that are staking Pulse to be part of the validator network, and then we want people that are going to be able to take ownership of the system and steer it forward for many years to come. So you've got to align all of those people economically to make sure that everyone wants to be a part of it. So, okay, buy and burns are important. We want to get the tokens out to a wide group of people, but we want to inject a lot of value and make the tokens, we want to make people want to hold the tokens. How will they want to hold them? Well, they're capturing the value of the system. And the ways we can do that is create more money printers, buy and burn the token. That increases the value, increases the scarcity of it, makes it, once again, more valuable, and more people will want to hold it and not just get it and sell it, because they know that value is getting built into it. So that's what we've tried to do, is we've tried to look across all the different players in the ecosystem and see how we can unify them all so that everyone wants to be a part of it. And I think we've got it looking pretty good. Now it's early days and we've got to see this build over time, but I think we've got the recipe right. And if we don't, we've got the ability to tweak things.
All right. Yeah, when I saw the launch and I see, oh man, this token has a lot of things going on with the tokenomics. And when I hear you with one of your down, I think you were further, right? And you were talking about this. I think episode. What's the? I think you have a episode. Yeah.
The DeFi Down Under.
DeFi Down Under. Yeah, I like that term. DeFi
Yeah.
Down Under. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a VTS. I call it the VTS video tutorial stream, the DeFi crypto based economy series, in which people can learn, and from learning they will act on that one and on themselves, knowing that the true decentralized network is you, right? I am the network. You have to do all these things and all this marketing, right, and adding value to the community, right? So you have to decentralize the power, right? So yeah, I think when I did kind of unique with me when I heard the Vouch Protocol, man, it's just another fun token. Oh, maybe it's just another INC that people just you were talking about, yeah, just maybe dumping the token, right? But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the solid tokenomics is the one you have. Yeah, how did the 5% tax token? Maybe you could expand on why it's necessary. The tax token. I know there are mga tokens who have launched with that kind of.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't like the term tax token. Like I said, I'm recoining it. It's going to be it's a revenue token.
token. All right, you coined the term revenue token. All right.
Revenue token, and I'll explain why there's a big difference. So when tax tokens first launched, Safe Moon and whatever else there was, they were very Ponzi-like in nature, where if you get in first, you get a share of the tokens, and then everyone behind you pays a tax, and you get what's called reflections.
All right.
So you get a share of them coming in. But that only lasts so long because all these people keep coming in. And if you run out of buyers, then the yield dries up and then it effectively collapses. So that's what tax tokens have always historically done. What we've seen happen on Pulsechain is people took that concept and they done some clever things with it, where they used the token fees, so essentially the fees, or what was called taxes on these tokens, were put to use, and it was partly for marketing and all that, which was what always used to happen in reflection tokens. But they started creating these liquidity webs, which you never used to be able to do that. So that's a relatively new thing, is when everyone understood what you can do with liquidity webs. So you can take some of your token and put some with this other token, some over here, some over here. And what happens is when someone buys tokens out of one pool, it changes the price on it and creates an arbitrage opportunity between all the other pools. So then bots will come in and start trading. So the bots are actually paying the fees on the token. So it's like another form of revenue that's just coming from bots, just picking up arbitrage opportunities. So that was quite unique to see that happen on Pulsechain. We've seen that work really well. So for me, it was like, okay, great to have a governance token. Can we make it capture the value of the ecosystem, but also bring in another stream of revenue? And once again, that unites everyone, because if you're a buyer or a seller on Vouch, on the Vouch token, that is, you're contributing to building more community validators, because a portion of those fees is going into the system to build more community validators to feedback on the loop for everyone else. So it doesn't matter which way you come into the system, you are adding value. And we can just keep generating more and more value no matter where it comes from in the system. So I think we've got that right.
It's kind of unique, right? The Vouch token and all this solid tokenomics, kind of unique when you try to mix these things up. And yeah, it's very unique for kudos to you, man. I know you're just allowed this one. Kudos to the team and especially to you, JEXXA. Yeah, I was kind of amazed how these things are working. Kind of say myself, oh man, JEXXA is kind of much more than our age.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, mate.
Just me saying, just create someone with the community. But anyway, thank you for. Anyway, yeah, guys, if you have questions, maybe you could put the question for JEXXA. This is the right time to ask the questions, right? Directly from the man himself, JEXXA. And
Yep.
yeah, maybe let me look at chat. I think we have only two. But for the replay gang, you could watch this one later. Especially, I think I know what's the time the States right now. Not sure though. But anyway, so this is retrostatic live streaming. Nice. I vouch for that. All right. Tintap said, what's up, Hexagon? What's up, Tintap? Yeah.
Tintop's everywhere.
Yeah, Tintap is everywhere. It's a staple among all chats. Tintap, what's up, brother? Anyway, so if you have question, guys, you can ask question for the Pulsechain community. We have JEXXA, and yeah, he explaining to us this is not another FUD token, and he was explaining a while ago. For those people just tuning in, he was explaining how we could have this revenue stream by having a VPLS on the other side, and also the Vouch token, which is in the phase 2. And the question is, when will be phase 3? If
So I didn't want to rush into phase 3. There's obviously, I find I do my best work when I've got time to sort of mull things over, see how it's all going, and see. I don't want to just push out phase 3 without a lot of thought on how else it can add value. So if I can come up with a way where it can add more value, that's what I want to do. Now, I'm really happy with what we've got here, but if we're going to expand the system, let's do it in a way that I think is additive. So where it will be the governance side of things, and that in of itself that's a pretty big undertaking. You don't want to hand over governance of a protocol too soon. You need a good wide distribution of tokens in the right hands. So you need to let the early guys that want to sell their bags for a quick profit, let them get out, let them get into hands of other people that are going to hang around. And over time, that will sort itself out and you end up with a good base of people that are going to support the project longer term.
I agree.
So we need to go through that. Yeah, we need to go through that phase first. So there's no hurry to get the governance out the door. I want to see that distribution happen a little bit first. And then when the DAO is launched, it'll be a true DAO. So if you're familiar with the likes of Railgun or MakerDAO for that fact, if you want to make a change to the protocol settings, it's not a matter of just running an off-chain poll and everyone votes on it. You actually submit the changes you want to see on the network. So you'll literally write the transaction. This transaction is going to call this function on the contract and it's going to adjust this setting. And then everyone can vote on, they can review it and see what the change is and they can vote on it. And if everyone votes, yep, we're happy with that, then it'll get executed and it'll make the change to the contracts. So you want to be really careful that if you're going to do that, you've got the right community behind it, because it is, that's a lot of power.
Yep, indeed. Guys, no expectation. 2 more weeks.
No expectations. That's it.
No expectation. And you understand, 2 more weeks, right? And we have 2 years before Pulsechain launches. Man.
I think what a lot of people are looking at is they're used to having to stake tokens to get rewards.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are saying, well, because they see the term staking on our dashboard and they want to start staking things. They're going, okay, well, what can we stake and where are we going to stake it? What they need to understand is, like, we've got everything we need in place now to give you all the rewards you could possibly want. We've set the system up now. Hey, you can hold your liquid tokens, and if you hold them, you get more. So we've got all the tools to be able to do that. And that's what I'm saying. If I do the DAO stuff, yes, we want to get the voting right, but how else can we unite the community even more? Like, if I can come up with a cool way to do that, or you never know who will end up integrating with other projects and things like that. So there may be other cool things that we can do that way.
All right. Definitely, it's worth exciting for that use when the phase 3 will come. Maybe we can also touch first with the reward. Is it a liquid reward?
Yeah.
It will be directly to the wallet, right? Maybe you could expand for our. You were asking about how can I stake this one, right? And how I can get my reward. Maybe people can. You don't have to stake, man. Maybe you could expand on that one. Right, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep going through with our dashboard and we'll explain a few things, because that will sort of unlock the next part of the puzzle for everyone. So we mentioned that our Pulse revenue goes into the distributor. That gets carved up to create more validators, to go back to the people that are staking Pulse in the liquid staking. So that's making sure they get their yield is kept up nice and high. So that's this yield over here. So we want to make sure that everyone that was in the existing liquid staking system is looked after. We have a couple of things like a safety wallet. That's just like an insurance sort of fund. We've got the treasury, which will do things like building liquidity and expanding the protocol.
Okay. So are you going to use the treasury for marketing, or
it'll be used to support the protocol. Yeah, all right, for sure.
Safu, that's from Binance, right? Safu.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yep. That's the safety.
Yeah, Safu. All right, I like this one. 555 Safu. Yeah, good.
And then the next biggest thing, so outside of all of these distributions, is what we call the reward pools. And this is where, if you're a vouch holder, that's probably what you're interested in at the moment, is, well, what's happening with the reward pools. So we've got 3 reward pools. We've got a vouch reward pool, VPLS reward pool, or a Pulse reward pool. So back on that image I showed you when we were sort of breaking down the high level of the system, I said we can distribute those 3 tokens to certain players in the ecosystem. So we can do things with each of these. We'll have a look. So at the moment, we're dedicating 30% of the total revenue to the vouch reward pool. So let's have a look what happens with that. That falls down here. So this 30% is what we see here. That's the total amount that's getting allocated to this rewards pool. Then we break it down, and at the moment, the way it's set is holders are getting 6%. So that's 6% of the total. 20% of this allocation, but 6% of the actual total. So 6% of the Pulse coming into the system is turned into Vouch and sent out to these holders.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what we're seeing here. Distributions to holders. So at the moment, 89 million Vouch has been sent out to people that hold the Vouch token. So it's done on how much you hold. So if you hold 10% of the supply, you would get 10% of this allocation. Yep. Now it's actually more than that because there's some addresses that are exempt from getting those. So all of the Vouch system addresses, like the Treasury and things like that, they don't get those distributions. So you actually get more than that. Yep. And the other big thing we're doing is we're taking 24% of that revenue and we're burning the token off the market. So that's what you can see here is we've burnt 1.2 billion tokens.
All right.
Which is
around
1.21% of the supply.
All right. Because when we first started, when we launched last week, right, it was like 20%. And how did you come up with a 24%? How are you gauging this one, with a 20% change?
So what we thought, because we were putting 10% into the liquidity pool, and we thought, okay, let's give everyone some rewards. Let's trial out the system and say, okay, well, rather than put it into the liquidity pool, let's support the early people that are supporting the protocol, and we'll take of that 10% we had there. We said, let's give 6% to rewards, which is what you see down here. And then we topped the buy and burn up to the other 4%. Went, okay, that was 20%. Let's make it 24%.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
So effectively you're buying up the supply and then burning it, which is effectively the same as adding liquidity. You're putting it into the pool, putting Pulse into the pool, and then tearing up the Vouch. So we thought, that would be nice to help show people what the system's capable of, and still keep that high buy and burn going. Over the course of the next week or so, we might trial sending out some VPulse to just make sure everyone can understand how that works, and just slowly introduce everyone into the system and say, okay, well, did you know you can do this with it? You know you can do that, because it is overwhelming. There's a lot of I've been head down on this for 8 months, so I understand it all, but I know people don't. So we've got to slowly educate people, which is cool. It's good fun.
Yeah, indeed. Because people kind of ask, when can I get my rewards? You don't have to stake. The reward is being they're given, man. No need for staking it, right? So it was in the chat, right? Someone was asking. But anyway, just thank you for clarifying on that one. So are you going to tweak it over time? Are you going to burn much, or are you going to wind it down?
Look, we'll see. We're happy with what it's doing at the moment. We'll see how things go. I'm pretty keen to give everyone some VPulse rewards or something like that. I just want to see it trickle through to their wallets and let people do a bit of that. So we might make a few changes and do a bit of that later on.
All right.
It's
gonna be it's gonna be in the reward stuff, right? You can put it there.
So that already exists. So if you click on this and put your address in here, it'll show you Vouch rewards, VPLS rewards, and Pulse rewards. So you'll see all that there. Yep.
Maybe I have a suggestion on the my reward stuff. Maybe you can get a should I say you could collect there, like with other DEXs, like you have you have separate from the wallet in which you could collect this amount on the reward side, on the reward tab. You have a collect button. You have a collect button for the specific amount of Vouch or PLS or VPLS.
It's a good question. I'm not sure, because everything's automated.
I understand.
I'm just not sure if you can call. You might be able to claim your reward. That's something I'd have to check on the functions and see whether we've enabled that. So it was designed to be sort of all automated. But I can have a look and see. Yeah, I'll have a look. That's an interesting question that I actually don't know the answer to, whether we put that on there.
All right, because
I'm good at the design. I didn't do any of the coding. I leave that to people that are much smarter than me.
All right. Just may I add on that one? 9mm have this collection button, right? Or should I say harvest button? In Pulse X record harvest, right? But you have to manually compute it, right? But with 9DEX, 9mm, sorry, 9mm DEX, right? The decentralized exchange, 9DEX, in which they have this concentrated liquidity or LP forms. They have this collect button out there, right? So you just collect and you could convert it WPLS, and yeah, your capital is separated from what you have collected or from the fees that being collected from the protocol by having this trading fee. So I think that is a suggestion of mine for maybe.
So the reason they would be doing that is because they can't automate it, or the protocol can't be automated. So in blockchain, you can't automate things. Someone's got to press a button to make things happen. So if you remember, back in the day did you ever play around with Cake?
No, I didn't touch that. All right.
Yeah, so with Pancake, they had their Cake token, which was like their yield token, and someone had to press a button to trigger all the distributions for everyone. Like you can't you can't actually automate things. So in Vouch, anyone, whenever there's a sell or a transfer, that triggers everything. There's a few other events when things are deposited that will trigger all these events. So it is, we've tried to automate it as much as we can. But yeah, I'll have a look. I'll see if there's something you can do a force claim. That would be interesting to see.
Yep, indeed, it's one thing to consider in the future. So, anything you want to add on this one, or maybe what did we miss with the dashboard, right? And maybe you could go with the VPLS part, in which they can they can stake the VP. Should I say how they can use the staking for calls to get VPLS? Maybe
for sure. Okay. All right. Now I haven't got a wallet in this particular browser. But let's see. So if you clicked on Stake Pulse, that will jump you out to our application.
Sure.
And obviously, you'd need to do your normal thing where you connect your wallet. And if you had Pulse sitting in your wallet, it would show your balance down here. And if you put in, now this will probably, I don't know if this will work for me without having any. Okay. So if we were to deposit the minimum, which is 10,000 Pulse, which is what? 41 cents, you would put in 10,000 Pulse and you would actually get 9,195 V Pulse back, because that's that ratio that we've seen change over time. So you don't get one for one anymore. You still you'll get 41 cents worth of V Pulse back. So you don't lose any dollar value. You just get a different ratio of tokens. But then on the other side, so let's just say we got 9,195 V Pulse. When you came to unstake it, I don't know whether this will let me do it or not. Let's see. Yeah. So if you were to come and unstake that, you would get all your Pulse back. Now, there's a little rounding error because it was, what was it here? It was 10,000 was, let's do the whole lot. Let's see if we can get it all back.
All right. You have a lot more when you try to unstake it.
Yeah, so there's a small rounding error there, but you basically get the same amount back.
All right.
So that's how you see how the tokens sort of interplay. So if you wanted to scrape some of your yield, you could say, oh, you know what, I'm only going to redeem 100 of them, and you'd get a bit of your Pulse yield out.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what we see people do as well. If they want to capture some of that yield and put it to work elsewhere, they can take a bit out.
All right.
Anything else we wanted to cover?
Yep. Chat, you have question, chat? Oh man, my channel is relatively small, so I just started this year. So yeah, if you have question, chat, maybe you could like, share, and subscribe, man. Show some love, brother. Anyway, if you have any question, let me. What did we miss with this? We did what's the function? What's this withdraw function over here? What does this?
Do? So the validators are putting the Pulse to work.
All right.
And we have, so you can see over here, we've got 5 people that have tried to withdraw their Pulse, and normally we have a bit of liquid pulse sitting there. So if you wanted to unstake 100,000 pulse, you could just go to what we call the liquid pool and you just pull it out. But if someone's come and done a big unstake, they've unstaked almost 1 billion pulse.
Mhm.
So that's sitting there being utilized by the validators. So if they need to get that pulse out, we've got to tell the validators, okay, you've got to exit. So what we see here is there's 6 validators that have been notified we're going to exit you, and they've automatically started exiting the system. So as soon as they finish exiting, these people that are waiting to get their stake out will be able to then come and do the withdrawal. Yep. So it'll show up here that they can then do their withdrawal. Yep.
All right.
So that only happens if there's not enough pulse in the liquid pool.
All right. I think we have covered everything with the dashboard. Anything you want to add? And maybe you can go through with the liquid staking documents. Maybe we could read this one. Let me read this one out, guys. Introduction into the Vouch liquid staking. Vouch liquid staking allows you to earn yield on your pulse without the cost of the hassle of running a validator. Guys, I'm talking to the Philippine Pulsechain community. They were asking, how can we run a validator? I think it's there are so many things you have to consider. You have to have a good power, a reliable internet. Because if not, then you will be slashed with your 32 million PLS, right? So I think the best thing you can do and to be part of the mining economy, I think we should use the term liquid mining for legal basis, right? And the staking is kind of even in Hex we have this mining term instead of staking, right?
You know what's really interesting on that note. So you're right. To run a validator, it's quite technical in nature. If you're not from an IT background, you're going to have a very, very steep learning curve. So I was from an IT background and I had a very, very steep learning curve. So
all right.
So
there you go, guys.
It is quite technical. So if you want to participate in the getting your share, and this is why we call it getting your share of Pulsechain's yield. If you want to get your share of Pulsechain's yield, that's what Vouch liquid staking is all about.
Yep, indeed.
Well, you mentioned something about calling it mining. The other day,
mining.
The other day in the US, they I can't remember which body made the statement. I think it was the SEC. They said that liquid staking is not considered a security. So that was.
Sorry. I think I have that one also. I have. Yep, indeed. Liquid staking is not a security offering, right?
Yeah.
I think we have now that legal clarity. If we can use liquid staking. Okay. Thank you for reminding me that one. I think it was like 1 month ago.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding
on
that.
That was a recent thing.
You can.
Yeah.
These are recent thing. Yeah. I think we have covered all these things. So
mate. I think if we go too much deeper, we're going to get really technical and start to lose people. But I think it was.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't going to go much more than the original slide that just showed all the feedback loops. But yeah, you were interested, so we went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we did. I think there's no better man. There's no better man, or there's no better man or brother or mate who can explain himself, right? Because I have this VTS last week. Like I was mentioning early on the stream, I was like scrolling and I was having this 1 month ago na VTS video tutorial stream, how to stake Hex, how to do LP farming and all this stuff for people to be joining I think that is the one thing I can offer to the community to own their money, right? And it is something with the digital economy, because I term it DeFi, the crypto-based economy series, in which I will having this yield, having these profits of different protocols, in which people will be using it for the end goal, really for goods and services, right? Do you agree that the end goal of money is really for goods and services, not just trading, right? What's your thought on that?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. There's no point creating all this cool tech if it's a closed economy. So it's good to have control of your funds, but we need everyone to have a wallet in there on their phone or whatever, so that then if I want to come to your coffee shop and buy a coffee, I can pay you my wallet to your wallet. Like we've got to build all that infrastructure so that we can bypass the existing infrastructure, because frankly, they don't give two hoots about us as humans. They see us as a cash cow. So
Yep.
yeah, we've got to build that world we want, and yeah, that's why I'm doing this. That's why you're streaming, and everyone's got something to offer. And if you think you haven't, the best thing you have to offer is just getting a wallet and start using the technology, and you are doing your part. So you don't have to be on a stream. You don't have to be creating things. Just use the technology.
Yup, indeed. I think you nail it. You nailed the coffin, brother. Tintap is saying we love rabbit holes. All right, all right, Tintap. We love rabbit holes. Yeah, I think we're going into our 1 hour almost. Yeah, I think we passed. No, we're going on to the 1 hour and 30, 1 hour and 20. I have these questions here, right? You can answer kind of a random question. All right. All right, all right.
Okay, go for
So yeah, I have this question. I have 5, 4, 5 to represent Hex. I'm also a Hexican. I am of 2018. What year are you in, or did you heard Richard Hart?
In crypto, yeah, that was around late 2016, early 2017 was when I sort of
Man, you're early than me.
started to get a bit of awareness about it.
All right. Oh man, you won't believe me. I have a bad experience. It was like of a ML. Sad to say, but I have to. I have to learn it the hard way. A lot of money has been lost, so it's kind of one of my battle cries. Really to put the word out there for people to use crypto. Right? You have. Oh man, this sucks.
That's why it's really important what you're doing with all your streams and things like that, mate. It is. I had a look at all your content, and I can see that you're just there trying to teach people how to use it. So yeah, good on you. I reckon that's awesome.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mato. Anyway, I have a question here. Yeah, just a random question. I have put it here. INC or vouch?
That's not even a fair question, is it? Vouch is going to produce real yield, and it doesn't inflate. It's deflationary.
All right. ETH or BTC?
ETH every day of the week.
Right.
ETH is the new financial rails. Bitcoin can be digital gold, but all the value is going to accrue on ETH. That's what everyone's using.
All right. Trading or yield?
Depends on the time of the market.
All right. Revenue token or tax token?
Definitely revenue token.
All right. Last but not the least, you have to remember this. What is mabuhay?
How are you? No, are you doing well or something?
It's called long live, right? Mabuhay.
Long live. That's
long live or be alive. Right?
I was nowhere near that.
All right. Okay, guys. If you don't have any questions, such a pleasure to have you on stream at JEXXA, and yeah, would love to have you one of the streams, and yeah, maybe have update with the community. Maybe can have you on stream back again and talk about the update for the Pulsechain community. We need to have to educate the people, because no man, people are like they're kinda just go right, kinda you know what they say. We are on the rabbit holes. We love rabbit holes, going 9 to 5 work, and we have this problem here in the Philippines. We have this kind of the corruption is very rampant. If you have heard the news, Indonesia, we have these ghost projects with our flood controls, and you have to understand that money and politics is a very bad mix, right? So I think you have to really take the
for what it's worth, mate. It's not just the Philippines; it's global.
All right. Yep, I understand. Yep. I understand. I do understand that. Yeah, if you have that power given to governments and printing money out of thin air, and literally devaluing or debasing our money is not really good for us. I was saying, we're just like cash cows from them.
Exactly.
Yep, indeed.
And we just keep letting them milk us. So we've got to change. Yeah, we've got to build the world we want, I think. So the more people we can get on our side in doing that, the better.
Yep, indeed. It's kind of saying like it's kind of our revolutionary. It's a peaceful revolution,
Mm.
right? If
Yep.
you're gonna use it,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
like
That's exactly what it was. You can't outgun them with. I mean, they've got the law and force on their side, so we've got to do what we can to make it turn in our favour.
yep, indeed. JEXXA is sorry, JEXXA. Tintam is saying thanks, JEXXA and MacB Crypto. We need evergreen content share with friends that want to learn about financial freedom. I think we have financial illiteracy globally, right? So I think
Yep.
I was like money is this kind of paper, right? So I think we have a new way of having this monetary sovereignty in which we hold our hard-earned monies not to be inflated from eternity. And
Mm.
again, Jexa, it is a pleasure to have you on stream, brother.
But yeah.
Any last thoughts on
No,
before we
I
end?
just want to say, I just want to say a big thank you. It's been great coming on here. I've had a lot of fun with you, mate. So yeah, happy to do it again.
Yep. Thank you, brother. God bless, and more power to you. And again, this is your man, MacB Crypto. Bye bye, guys. Have a good one.